Hey, it's Hannah. Got 2 bottles of oil today. Not a medical doctor. Please don't ask me for medical advice. Talk to your doctor if you're using essential oils, etc., etc. Be very, very safe. Follow the labels. Do what you're supposed to do. If you have a reaction to an oil, stop using it. You can try to reintroduce it later after, at least a week. More like 2 weeks would be better. But if you react again, don't use it. This one is actually one that people tend to be highly reactive to. So just don't use it. If you react to it, just don't. Hopefully you're here because you're my upline, downline, cross line. Today I have Cinnamon Bark and Cinnamon Bark Vitality, and these are pretty expensive little 5 milliliter bottles of oil. So this one obviously is labeled for topical and aromatic use, and this one is labeled for ingestion. So all the good stuff. They both have to be diluted 20/80. So super powerful oils in here. Cinnamon bark, though, if you're going to use it topically or, in your diffuser, this one is supposed to be really good for heart disease because it is a circulatory stimulant. But that being said, use it with caution because it does have anticoagulant properties. So if you are on a blood thinner and you're like, oh, this will be really good for my heart, like, no, you can't do that. You really would need to be cautious about using it or overusing it. You might be able to tolerate it in the diffuser, but not topically on your body. So that's one of those situations where you have to be really, really careful with essential oils because it could be more dangerous for you to use them. You're not going to experience any of those potential health benefits if you are bleeding out because you are using this with a blood thinner. It's just not going to be positive. This oil is thought to attract wealth, so I think that's why everyone's homes smell like cinnamon near the holidays, because I don't know where that came from, but history somewhere, someone was like, cinnamon bark, wealth. It has antiviral properties, it has antibacterial properties, anti-inflammatory, antifungal, all that anti-stuff. And you can, if you pull from different studies in history, you will see it here and there. But because there aren't tons of studies just on pure essential oils themselves without other stuff, like, you really have to go back in history before we had so many medicines on the market to find that information. So this isn't something that your doctor is going to recommend to you for something like that, and you do need to be cautious when you're using it. Find someone certified in aromatherapy or, holistic medicine and talk to them about it. But it has lots of good stuff going on if you're willing to try it. Of course, if you're going to ingest this, it is meant to aid in digestion. I personally just bought some tea from Ula Tea, which in April will be no more. Very upset about it. But so their teas are meant for essential oil infusion, and so I just bought one called Cozy, and it has like coconut and cinnamon bark in it, and you use cinnamon bark vitality with it. And it's supposed to be, cuddly by the fire, feel good stuff. I haven't tried it yet. That's why my bottle is not open. I use this one a lot more. But if you ever come across a time when you do not have cinnamon in your pantry, has that ever happened to you? You can use this in place of cinnamon. Ground cinnamon. So breads, muffins, cakes, pies, you only need a little bit a little bit goes such a long way when it comes to essential oils. Obviously, if you're going to make cinnamon ornaments with this, with ground cinnamon and applesauce, this is not going to work. You actually do need ground cinnamon for that. I don't know how you could get away with making those without ground cinnamon. I know a lot of teachers who have wanted to do those with their class, and then you go to the store, 3 weeks before Christmas, like right after Thanksgiving, and there's no ground cinnamon. And you need a lot of it because you have a lot of friends, and it takes an awful lot of ground cinnamon to make those, honestly. But it is really fun. But if you think ahead, you can do that next year. And maybe you could just throw a little extra splash of that in there, and it would smell really good. If you want people to think you've been baking, but you don't actually feel like going through all the trouble, just pop some of this into your diffuser with like vanilla or lemon even, and people will think you've been baking for days. Clove would be a really good one. Vanilla probably is like the easiest. Cinnamon bark and vanilla, and people think you've been baking for days. You could put out some cookies and stuff you bought at the store. Or go by the bakery and pick up some stuff and put it out, throw away all the containers, and no one will know the difference, honestly. But this is such a yummy oil. It's so powerful. Let's look at the price. They both cost the same thing. They're both 5 milliliters, but wholesale that's $25.75. Retail that's $33.88. So like I said, these are kind of expensive, but totally worth it. Super powerful. And when you think about it, if you're using this topically, and this needs to be diluted 20/80, if you were to dilute this, that's 20 milliliters of oil diluted appropriately so that you could put it directly onto your skin. That's a lot of oil. So don't even let the price fool you. If you break it down price per drop, I haven't done that, so I don't know. Let's see, $25.75. 85 drops of oil. Yeah, this is like 30 cents a drop. So super powerful. You don't need a lot of it. I've seen blends that call for like 5 drops of cinnamon bark, and I'm like, no, I might do like 3, because that is just absurd to use 5 drops of something so powerful to me. I know people do it, but I'm just like, it's so unnecessary unless you have this huge house or like this huge space or like a vaulted ceiling. Like, there just aren't very many times where I would feel the need to use that much of such a powerful oil. But anyways, tell me your favorite cinnamon bark thing. It can be, your favorite cinnamon candle or recipe or whatever favorite cinnamon thing in the comments, because I love some cinnamon stuff. And I'll see you guys later with more stuff.